Hi, I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be the Frankenstein Boyfriend Project. Unhealthy Love Triangle. Well, I got an email from a viewer. I don't know how long he's been following me, but he basically insinuates he's been following me for years. I don't know if he's actually read the book. He just might be another cherry picker. But so this particular guy, you guys have probably heard me talk about the Frankenstein Boyfriend Project, and that's where you got a woman who has two or three different guys, and each one of those guys brings something to the relationship that she's not getting from the other guy or the primary guy. Like in this particular case, we have a woman who's been with her boyfriend for 4 years, and the guy who wrote the email is her side piece, I guess, and he feels like she's the one for him. So he's got a case of one-itis going on. So he's involved, I guess, he's going to see her therapist, or they're both seeing the same therapist. The therapist is going, yeah, your relationship with your existing boyfriend is unhealthy and you shouldn't be with him. But the girl says, oh, I've been with him for so many years, I can't leave. And so this guy's kind of stuck in limbo because he's like, I want her to leave this guy so we could be together. Meanwhile, he's ignoring the fact that she's cheating on her boyfriend of 4 years with him. And so he thinks that once he's able to rip her off from this other guy, that of course she's going to be loyal and faithful because she's the one, and they're going to live happily ever after. And so this is what you see in a lot of, like this particular woman obviously is not getting the emotional and the sexual connection with her boyfriend that she's getting with the guy that writes the email. And so whatever else she is not, there are some things obviously she's getting with the boyfriend. Maybe she lives with him. It wasn't really clear if she's living with the other guy. The bottom line is they've been together. And so women that do this might have two or three different guys. One guy that might actually be sleeping with, and there might be one or two other guys that they occasionally go out on dates with, guys that are the emotional tampon, if you will. Every time there's a problem or she's unhappy with her boyfriend, she calls the other guy, the nice guy, male orbiter, who's kind of in backup position, hoping to get his shot. And the important thing is, if you're looking for a relationship, a loyal, monogamous, exclusive relationship, you're not going to find it by being some chick's side piece who doesn't want to leave her boyfriend. But it just goes to show that, I say this all the time, and I learned this 30 years ago when I got into sales, and that's that people buy based upon emotion, and they use logic and reason to justify their decisions. And so this guy, even though he says he's been following me for several years, I seriously doubt whether he's actually read 3% Man, but he is involved in something that he shouldn't be. If he knew the material and was actually applying it, he would have never gotten involved with this chick. But because he's all wrapped up in his emotions and his feelings, I mean, he's getting dragged through the mud, basically, and he's doing it to himself. And he's sitting around putting his personal life on hold thinking it's going to change, and that somehow she's going to be the perfect girl. So let's go through his email. It says, Dear Coach Corey, thank you for all your videos and advice. They have been very helpful for many years. Well, you should have read the book, dude. You didn't mention the book, so that tells you probably never read it. You're just cherry-picking videos, and this is why you're in the situation you're in. You don't follow the instructions. And you're suffering tremendously because of it, because you want to be with this girl, but she's with somebody else, and she won't leave the other guy. I'd like to know your opinion on my situation and what would be the right thing to do. I've been in a love triangle for 6 months now. I am in love with a girl who is in a 4-year relationship with another guy. Come on, man. You don't mow another man's lawn. Trying to rip off some other dude's girl, for 6 months now, that's the opposite of what I teach. So you can't cherry pick things and think you're going to use it to manipulate and steal some other guy's girl because you think she's the one. He says, we met at work and both knew what we were getting into. I know it sounds cliche, but we both feel like we've met the one. We both. If she really felt like you were the one, she would have left this other guy, dude. That's the reality. You're part of her Frankenstein Boyfriend Project. I know you probably don't want to hear that. You don't like to hear that, but that's the truth. And our relationship ticks every box. Well, except for the fact you're in love with a woman who's in a relationship with another man. She says she loves me, she wants to be with me, and we've had multiple serious conversations about the perspectives of this working out and both really want to get through it and start our own normal relationship. Okay, so if we look at this from reality, she loves me and wants to be with me. If that were true, she would be with you. She's actually still in a relationship with her boyfriend. So it's nice that she says these things and she may feel these things, but if we bottom line her actions, she's voting with her feet and she's staying with her boyfriend. She's not staying with you. Men do this to women all the time when they're married and they have a mistress. Oh, it's just not the right time. My wife's going through a tough time. In the spring, I'll definitely be able to leave her. It's got a lot on her plate and she can't deal with it right now. And meanwhile, years go by. And these guys have no intention of leaving their wives. He says, but she is still with the other guy, can't let him go, says it's very hard for her, and they've been together for a long time and can't cut him off, even though she mentions a lot of things wrong with their life together on many levels and how our connection is what she always wanted and dreamed of. Well, if any of that were truthful, she may want it to be true, but if we look at her actions, if we just bottom line the actions, bottom line, what's bottom line the actions? She's with the other guy, and you're her side piece. That's the bottom line. 6 months, doesn't matter. We both feel like we're the one. No, you feel like she's the one for you, but she just tells you that and yet stays with the other guy. That's reality. We both go to therapy, and even her therapist says he is wrong for her and there is no perspective. I don't know what that means. I feel like this is going on for too long and doubt whether I should still be invested in this. You shouldn't. If you've been paying attention to anything I've been teaching for the years you claim to have been following me, you have to know that this is the opposite of what I teach. I would never say you should get involved with somebody like this. Because once a cheater, always a cheater. If she cheats on him with you, guess what? As soon as she gets to a place where she's not that happy with you, she'll be doing this same exact thing with another guy. That's just who she is. She's not loyal at all. She doesn't value loyalty. She doesn't value monogamy. She doesn't value exclusivity. And her word doesn't mean anything. I mean, look at all the BS she's given you. Oh, I've been together for a long time and I can't cut him off. I know the relationship is wrong on many levels and our connection is so wonderful and it's what I've always dreamed of, but I just can't leave him. Oh, I just can't. But I feel like it's going on for too long and doubt whether I should still be invested in this, but I really feel that she's the one for me and don't want to lose her and all the potential of our future life. What? The potential life where she cheats on you eventually? Just like she did on him with you? That's delusional. I mean, seriously, dude. What should I do? What do you think I'm going to tell you to do? You shouldn't. If you want a healthy, loyal, monogamous, exclusive relationship, it's not going to be with this chick ever, even if she does leave this guy. As soon as she's unhappy with you or you go through a rough patch, she's going to be hooking up with somebody else. That's just who she is. It's not your job to fix her. It's not your job to save her. You're not Captain Save-A-Ho. I mean, if you consistently hang out with people that have no integrity, what does that tell me about you? Well, you obviously don't have any integrity. And maybe you deserve it then. Maybe you should stay involved in this. But these kinds of love triangles are dangerous to your health. You know, I've talked off and on many times over the years about a friend of my brother's that got murdered because he just happened to go home with a cute hostess that he worked with, and he had no idea she had a crazy ex-boyfriend that was stalking her, and he got murdered when he went back to her house. It's like, you never know what you're dealing with. And this kind of thing, because this is what happens when you watch too many movies. I mean, how many movies have we all seen where there's two people? There's a woman who's unhappy in her relationship, and there's a guy who's unlucky in love, and then he meets this girl who's unhappy in a relationship, and he's such a great guy, and their connection is so amazing, and the guy that she's married to her in a relationship is just such a jerk. And then at some point, she leaves the jerk, and then they live happily ever after in movie and TV land, because that's the fantasy of the geek that sat in the back of the class in high school and fantasized about getting together with the hot girl. And so he gets into the movie business and he thinks, I'll just write this script this way. And then we grow up, and over our course of our lives, we see the same thing over and over thousands of times. You go, oh, it's the one. It's meant to be. This is some BS from some loser geek that never got laid in high school, wrote a movie, and literally it's brainwashed and propagandized billions of people around the world. And this is not how things work in the real world. In the real world, this is what happens when you get into a love triangle. You become part of her Frankenstein boyfriend project, or his Frankenstein girlfriend project for that matter. If you want to be with somebody that loves you and only you got to make sure they're ready, willing, able, and open to dating you. And you're her side piece. You're just the guy that she's sleeping with on the side. And so the way to handle it is to say, I'm not going to stay involved with this. You tell me I'm the one, but yet you stay with this guy. It's like, obviously I'm not the one. And I want to go find the one, if you want to believe in that fantasy, because we all have lots of soulmates. We don't just have one. We have many. And there is somebody out there, it may take a few years, several years even, before you meet somebody that you really click with. But if you continually get involved with people that have no integrity and you project your feelings onto them and you ignore the fact that they're cheating with you, and for you to think that somehow once they are no longer with that other person that they're going to be loyal and faithful to you, that's just so ridiculously delusional. I mean, there's so many things I'd like to say about that, but I can't really say the things I used to say on YouTube just because things have changed over the years. But at the end of the day, if you want a healthy, happy, loyal, monogamous relationship, ain't going to be with this chick, dude. That's just reality. So if you got a question or a challenge and you'd like to get my help, go to understandingrelationships.com, click the products tab at the top of your screen, and book a coaching session with yours truly. Until next time, I will talk to you soon.